Now, the relationship between inventory and demand is actually mathematically, we use that to calculate what we call the month's supply of homes. And this is the pace of turnover in the marketplace. And generally, a low number indicates a seller's market. It means that there's not a lot of choice out there, but there are a lot of buyers. So it's buyers are competing for the best listings, potentially having multiple offers on properties, which pushes the price up and brings the time to sell down. On the other side of the chart, if we have a high number, that would indicate a buyer's market where there actually is a lot of choice available and not as many buyers. So it's really the sellers competing with each other to put the best price on their home and negotiate more aggressively to get their home sold. So this chart's interesting, but it only shows part of the story. And what I've done on the next chart is I've actually broken apart this month's supply line into different price ranges. And what you can see here is that the two lowest bars, it's kind of the light blue and the red, that is homes priced under $600,000 and from $600,000 to $800,000. You can see that they're actually, very low numbers, and they've stayed that way throughout most of the market conditions. Now, these are the more affordable price points here in Brantford. Now, the interesting thing is if we look up to the blue line, this is, I felt this happening in the market last year. This is $800,000 to $1 million. And, back in the hotter market, that blue line was running right along with the other lines. But throughout that interest rate hiking cycle, those price points really slowed down. You can see the blue line racing up and then coming back down, becoming a busier market in the back half of the year. And it's only running a little bit higher than those more affordable price points. So the energy's coming back to the $800,000 to $1 million market. And that's typical as the market speeds up again. But what you're seeing at the white line, these are the million plus homes. And, when the market was hot, it wasn't uncommon to see, regular homes kind of selling for $1 million, 1.1. It was a little mind-blowing, actually, for someone who's lived in Brantford their whole life. But you can see how aggressively that white line took off. It really was the $1 million plus price point that completely stalled out when interest rates started hiking. And that's because the out-of-town buyers slowed down too. So if you were selling your Toronto home for $2 million and then bringing that money to Brantford, it was really easy to make an aggressive offer on a home or pay a little bit over asking for that property. And that behavior slowed right down. We saw it falling again into the winter, but what you see at the side of this chart is it just spiked again in February. So it's on the way back up. So the energy really hasn't returned yet to that higher price point. And that will depend a lot on that money flowing from more central from the GTA back towards Brantford, because you're not really seeing first-time home buyers going out and getting $1 million mortgage. This is typically a property that someone is, trading their equity from their higher priced home in another city, and they're moving on down to Brantford.